Tom, let's take a closer look at some of the events that are happening in the second half of the year. Live events are back. It's event season. Hotels are filling up. People are booking airline tickets. They're getting passes. Or are they? The pandemic has changed everything, including event participation. And I'm still hearing a lot of people saying, why should I fly across the country or around the world to attend an in person event? If I'm concerned about my health, if I'm concerned about my family and lifestyle, or if I can just attend virtually from home and or catch the recordings after. What should we expect from returning favorites like AWS reInvent? Standby events that are changing, like VMware Explore, the artist formerly known as VMworld, and smaller events like Flash Memory Summit. Let's start, Tom, with what's going on, well, now, BlackHat and DEFCON.
Yeah, BlackHat kicks off this weekend. We've got a lot of people who are going to be there in Vegas. And remember that it's BlackHat is the first half of the week, DEFCON's the second half of the week. There's a lot of people that are kind of excited. In fact, we were talking about it this morning. It feels like a lot of companies are maybe holding some of their security stories until their people can kind of put them out at BlackHat. It's always an interesting time. Just make sure you bring one of those old Nokia burner phones if you're going. You don't want to connect anything there. In addition, we will be doing a security field day event later on in 2023. We just came off of our last one at the end of June, and so we wanted to have a little bit of time for people to kind of, recover from the revelry of BlackHat. So make sure you stay tuned to techfieldday.com for a little bit more information about security field day when it'll be coming up.
So next week is also Flash Memory Summit. So this is an interesting one, Tom. There hasn't been really a big storage industry event for a long time. A lot of the big guys that we used to love, Storage Networking World and the Storage World Congress and so on, Tech Target events, those have all fallen by the wayside. And yet Flash Memory Summit remains standing, and it's under new management with a new and exciting group of people attending, a new lineup. Frankly, it's got a breath of fresh air. And some of the things that are going on in the storage industry, I mean, sure, Flash Memory is one of them, but a lot more than that is going on at Flash Memory Summit. So I decided that I'm going to fly out there. I'm going to take a look at that, spend some time with those companies, and kind of roll in the storage world a little bit. I really appreciate what the organizers of FMS have done. They've really injected new life into this event, and frankly, they've attracted the entire storage industry. If you're in storage or any related field, check out FMS. Maybe it's a good idea to go.
Right after that, a little bit later in August, so the 21st through 24th, is going to be VMware Explore. As Stephen mentioned, it is the artist formerly known as VMworld. It's going to be at the Venetian in Las Vegas. We're very excited to go out there. And when I say we, I mean Stephen and I. So we're both going to be out there for VMware Explore. I'll get that down one of these days. But we're going to be hearing from great companies like VMware NSX. We're going to be hearing from AMD. And we've got a lot of other great stuff in store for you. And as always, techfieldday.com is the best place to learn about what we're doing, not only about the extra events that we're doing there, but also kind of getting our feel for what the conference is like, what people are enjoying, what people are excited to see. There's a lot of great things that come out of that, and we're very excited to be in Vegas to bring them to you.
And when it comes to VMware Explore, I think the core question is this going to be able to revert to its old status as the king of data center IT conferences? VMworld was the undisputed place to be if you were talking about on-prem infrastructure for the last decade. And because everything basically came home to VMware. They changed it last year into VMware Explore. They changed the theme. They changed the focus of the thing. And I think a lot of people were somewhat alienated by that change. We will see, given the fact that Broadcom is widely expected to receive final approval to purchase VMware, and that they have explicitly changed how the conference works. We'll see how successful it is. It's funny. Some of the people in our community are saying, heck yeah, I'm going. That's my home. I'm going to be there. Others in the community are saying, nah, I'm going to give it a miss. I'm more interested in some of the other events in the industry. So VMware, we'll see what happens with that. But that being said, we will be there. We'll be there with Tech Field Day. We'll be hearing from VMware as a presenter. We also, I'm happy to announce, we'll be hearing from AMD as a presenter. And we'll also be meeting up with a lot of the other companies in the industry there. So if you're going to VMware Explore, give us a shout out. Tom and I would love to talk to you. Another event that's coming up fairly soon, September 18, is SNIA Storage Developer Conference. Now, I talked about Flash Memory Summit. FMS is really a more of a business-to-business event. SDC is an entirely different animal. Think of this almost as a KubeCon for storage, in that it is very academic, it's very developer-focused, and it's very exciting, I kid you not, to go and see what's next in storage, because the people that come are people that you just don't normally get to hear from. They are literally the storage developers that are out there developing things at companies that prefer not to talk about what they're developing, but they let them talk about it there. So in years past, I have seen presentations, I've had detailed discussions with people from companies like Apple, Meta, Microsoft, about the internal workings of their products, things you just would not expect to be able to hear. And that's going to happen again at SDC. So I strongly recommend that if you're in the storage developer space, that you get yourself out to Fremont on September 18th and tune in for SNIA SDC. And we're going. In fact, I'm going to bring a whole pile of people. We're going to be doing Storage Field Day at SDC. So I'm bringing in the Storage Field Day delegates for both SDC and Storage Field Day presentations. And if you're going and you'd like to participate in Storage Field Day or in SDC or in both, give me a holler. We actually have a discount even from SNIA to help you out as a sponsor. So look me up, and maybe I'll see you in Fremont for SNIA SDC. The next one that I'm looking forward to is Edge Field Day. Now, the week before Edge Field Day is Mobile World Congress in Las Vegas. That's September 28th. MWC in the US is not quite MWC Barcelona. It's interesting because in many cases, the European version or the Asian or South American version of a product is conference is the sort of the stepchild. You have VMware Explore, and then you have VMware Explore Europe. In the case of Mobile World Congress is in Barcelona. MWC in the United States is the stepchild. But that being said, it's going to attract a lot of people. And it's going to be really interesting to see what that means for the edge market. This is where telcos and 5G and all these new technologies are discussed. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then the week after that, in October, we're going to have Edge Field Day. This is our second Edge Field Day event. I'm very much looking forward to the presentations we've got there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check out the Tech Field Day website, which we'll link in the show notes, to learn more about Edge Field Day 2. And also check out our Utilizing Edge podcast for more information about that. A few weeks later, in October 17th through 19th, we've got the OCP Summit. This is another really interesting conference because it's focused on the emerging hyperscale hardware and software market. This is where, for example, last year there was a CXL forum as well as a Sonic event. If you tuned into Networking Field Day, you've heard quite a lot about Sonic. And if you've turned into Utilizing Tech, you've heard a lot about CXL. OCP is one of the driving forces in the next generation data center infrastructure and protocols and software. And so the OCP Summit is a great event to attend. And once again, we're going to attend it with Cloud Field Day. So we will be heading over to OCP Summit, then we're going to have some Cloud Field Day presentations later in the week. All of this is happening in San Jose the week of October 17th. We're also looking at a bunch of regional events that are coming back. And here in the Ohio area, we're looking forward to attending the Information Security Summit in Cleveland, October 23rd through 27th. They reached out to us. We'll be recording the rundown live from ISS on the 25th. And looking forward to seeing some folks at smaller events, regional events like that one.
And the next week is going to be another busy networking week because we've got ONUG going on in New York City. We've been there several times, and we've talked to a lot of the great companies that are participating there, not only as sponsors of the event, but as people who are on the board, people who are kind of driving the direction that a lot of enterprises are going, especially in the financial sector. But on the other side of the country, in Silicon Valley, we're actually going to be doing our next edition of Networking Field Day. We're very excited to announce that we have Graphian and Nokia that are confirmed for that event. And we'll be adding more presenters every day at techfieldday.com. Just click on the link for Networking Field Day. You're going to want to check that out. I'm sure that a lot of the things that we've been talking about recently on the rundown, like, Ultra Ethernet and IPv6 and a bunch of other stuff, are going to be hot topics there.
And one of the things as well, I think that we're probably going to see at those events is some of the things that are going to be presented at supercomputing this year. So supercomputing is November 12th to 17th in Denver, and supercomputing is sort of like OCP. It's an opportunity to learn about a lot of the next generation stuff that's happening, especially networking. There's a lot of networking innovation going on to support AI and HPC applications. We heard about that from Broadcom at Networking Field Day. And I look forward to hearing from companies like AMD, NVIDIA, Intel on what they're doing in advanced networking. And I'm sure that we're going to hear some of that stuff at Networking Field Day, at Supercomputing, and also at Data Field Day and AI Field Day, which we're going to be holding around that time as well. So we are very, very happy to announce that we're going to be diving back into the data space. I look forward to hearing not just database companies, but companies that are doing data platforms and data translations and analytics and data lakes and all sorts of very, very cool stuff. We'll have more news on the Tech Field Day website for that. And we're also going to be mixing in a little bit of AI as well. So keep an eye on our channels. Not quite ready to announce the dates and locations and companies and all that kind of stuff, but we're very excited to be looking at Data Field Day and AI Field Day in the same time frame as supercomputing.
And also happening around that same time, if you're more of a invisible network connectivity group, then you're definitely going to want to tune in for Mobility Field Day. That'll be our 10th edition of the event. It's November 15th through the 17th. We're getting a great group of companies lined up. You may recall the Mobility Field Day that we had earlier this year was jam-packed. And I have no doubt that this one will be just as full, just as exciting. We've got some new companies in the mix that we can't wait to show you. Like Steven said, techfieldday.com is where we'll be releasing all that information as soon as we're ready to talk about it.
And then we've got a couple more big events in the industry coming up in November. So November 6th to 9th, we've got KubeCon in Chicago this time. We were there in Detroit last year, and it was actually a great event. It actually reminded me, like I said, of something like a storage developer conference, and that it was so developer-centric, so end-user-centric. And it felt really kind of friendly in a way that I'm not used to from industry tech conferences. It was very nerdy and very cool, and I really enjoyed it. Considering that it's in Chicago, maybe I'll get up there, just like Detroit. Don't think I'll drive this time, though. And then AWS reInvent, of course, is the gorilla in the room. November 27th through December 1st in Las Vegas. reInvent looks like it's going to take over all of Las Vegas. This is the one that I'm hearing the most excitement from people about. Pretty much everybody I've asked if that would be the kind of person that goes to reInvent. I've said, "Are you going to reInvent?" They're like, "Hell yeah, absolutely! I'm already booking for it." Sounds like it's going to be an absolutely massive event. Usually they take up the whole Vegas Strip and the convention center and things like that. We'll see how big it is this year. I have a sense that it's going to be a big success, and we are definitely planning on being there. What do you think, Tom, overall, though, about the event space? Are people going? Are people staying home? What's the deal?
I think that more people are starting to go back. I've seen the attendance for these events starting to go up over time. And as I've talked to people who've been going to the events, they've told me that it reminded them of what they missed about being, stuck inside during the pandemic. It's not necessarily the sessions, because those are available online. It's not necessarily the product announcements, because we get those through other channels. It's the face-to-face stuff. It's meeting people, forming groups, being able to talk about the cool stuff that's going on. It's the social aspect of it. And I think that as how can I miss you if you don't go away kind of thing, when that disappeared and we were relegated to doing it over Zoom, we lost that ability to kind of, build those foundational communities. So I'm very excited to see that people are going back. I think that there's going to be some hesitation. Always, there's nothing we can do to get around that. But I think that for these larger events, the reInvents, the VMware Explorers, the BlackHats, there's going to be a lot of folks who, kind of, they're excited to see each other, lots of hugs, lots of handshakes. But more importantly, getting back to what I feel makes those conferences so important, it's the exchange of knowledge amongst peers in the community.